Hey y'all, it's Anime Caveman. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 7th episode of Dororo. And I gotta say, this episode was finally a nice change in pace of the usual Dororo episodes. Because usually in Dororo episodes you set up a situation where you introduce the ghouls or demons in an episode, you introduce some human conflict, and then it goes south, and then usually a lot of things die pretty tragically. And then you get a sad ending to a Dororo episode, and then that's it, and it's done. And it usually makes for a fun episode. Don't get me wrong, that formula is amazing. But I like how this episode just slams that formula out of the ground, and it does something different. Because I like how this episode, it made it seem like it was going to set itself up for a sad episode. But I like how it, at the end, it turned out to have a happy end result. Because I like how it shows off first this school called Ogai, who's pretty much kidnapping these villagers and pretty much just draining their life force, not completely killing them, so that it can survive, because without it, it wouldn't be able to survive properly. And then it gets into a conflict with Hakimaru. It kind of loses that fight, so it gets pushed back, and it runs near this village, where then it preys on these humans more, it eats more life force, and then it pretty much stays knocked out, where then the ghoul called Ogai pretty much means this man called Yajiro. And I kind of like this situation where throughout all these sequences, you see Yajiro as a sweet individual who values all life. He said, and to him, bugs and humans are on equal level, which helps it set up so that if Yajiro were... Because Yajiro does eventually find out that Ogai is a ghoul, but it sets itself up so well that by the time he finds out that Ogai is actually the ghoul, that type of thing doesn't faze him because of his whole philosophy of how he values life equally and how everything in life needs to be appreciated. So I kind of like this episode. And then aside from that, I also like how throughout this episode, you had sequences of these two bonding, of it showing off pretty much the conflict of Ogai, where she can somewhat do things while eating human food, but without human life force, then she really can't do much. And I like how the episode slowly gets these two get closer, Ogai and Yajiro, making it into a sweet relationship where he's giving her food, he's telling him about his own job, how harsh it is, how risky it is. And it's making, and I like how it slowly gets Ogai character development, because she was first she was like, having a monologue of wanting to like drain his life force, but then as the episode progresses, she has a change of heart, and then she wants to escape without causing him any more trouble. And then I like how it shows a love building, because parts way in when Yajiro tries to help Ogai escape, these villagers, since they don't want anyone to escape the village, because this lord pretty much doesn't like people escaping, because this lord wants this labor to go on, this cheap labor. So they pretty much put themselves in a situation where, for a second, I really thought that Yojiro was going to get killed, but he just gets hit in the arm. And I like how they gave the episode some dramatic tension, too. Because at the beginning, it made it seem like he was going to die, but he only got hit in the arm. And then I like how at that sequence, you get to see Ogai in some major fury, pretty much like a smackdown, draining some life force until Dororo shows up. They get into a fight, and I like how the scene also gives off, not only is it a cool fight scene with emotional stakes, it gives Dororo some character development. Because parts ways in, you have Yojiro pretty much tell them to stop because he doesn't want anything to happen to Ogai, and that sequence was sweet. And I like how in that scene, you see Hakimaru's features. I'm sorry, Hakimaru was the one that did the fight. You see him become much calmer, and I like how in that instance, you have Hakimaru get a good amount of character development, because he learns in that situation, not every situation that involves the goal has to be solved through bloodshed and violence. Some of it can be solved peacefully, and I kind of like how you see that develop Hakimaru, because he lets Ogai and Yojiro leave, because he pretty much realizes that they're not going to harm people, because really the only thing Ogai does is he just drains the life force of people, doesn't really kill them, and they just recover later if they're left alone. And it's nice when you get a sequence where you can see they love each other because old guy became mad when the Yojiro was hurt, and Yojiro, when he said that I'll be your prey to old guy, was also a beautiful sequence. So I like that. That this episode didn't just give us development for Hakimaru, it developed old guy, it developed Yojiro, even though old guy and Yojiro are going to probably be only in this episode. I don't know how to read the manga. They made at least a good impact, so that's why I thought this episode really, really did well from a character standpoint. And then you can hella see that this affected Hakimaru as an individual, because when Dororo accidentally gets bit by a spider, you have Hakimaru make like a slight joking laugh, and you have at first Dororo's kind of happy, but then he realizes that Hakimaru is laughing at Dororo, and I kind of like that because this made Hakimaru slightly. It kind of made it slightly more. It put him in a slightly more lighter mood. And you can now tell this also made Dororo and Hakimaru slightly closer as friends. And that's why I thought this episode was astounding from the character standpoint. It was perfect. From the story standpoint, it was great. It had engaging. The story of old guy was engaging. And that I felt it got perfect marks from that end, from my department in this episode. And that's why I thought it really popped. And the art and animation were just sensational. There wasn't a single sequence where I thought an art shot was looking like shit or an animation shot was looking like shit. And that's why I'm taking all these and then it gets extra point this episode for me because it had a unique ending where it finally had a happy end result. It's always nice to get to see these positive things occur in a Dororo instead of just pure darkness. And that's why I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of 10. I thought it was great. And it makes me eagerly anticipate more episodes, and I was just really, really happy seeing this episode. I'm serious. This anime just keeps on doing itself each and every week in the best possible way. So anyways, guys and gals, these are my thoughts on Dororo Episode 7. Comment down your thoughts on the 7th episode below in the comment section. Rate the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Subscribe for more, alright? Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.